Well, hello out there, everybody. How y'all doing? Thank you for joining us here on the Paranormal Portal. I'm Brent Thomas, your host, and we are going to get into 2 fun-filled hours of the paranormal goodness you've grown to love. And today, I actually got a co-host. I'm speaking of course, the big toe himself, Mr. Don Longbeard. Oh, yeah, microphones, remember?
I seem to have forgotten this part of the game. Can't help it. But anyhow, yeah.
It's okay. Well, good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Well, I'm not limping anymore.
He's not.
Nope.
Turns out it wasn't broken, folks.
Nope, it was just seriously out of joint.
It was dislocated. Just like he was. He should have been here, but he was dislocated. He wasn't here.
Dislocated. There's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yep, you were just like your toe, Don, but both of you popped back into place, and by God, here we are. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
The toe metaphors are going to just be the gift that keeps on giving, Don.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
Oh, boy.
Well, folks, yep, we got him back in the co-pilot seat here, and we're going to just jettison into the other worlds here in the Paranormal Portal. We've got, of course, the news coming up in just a minute here. We're going to get to that. And we'll get to the Discord question of the week. Remember that, Don?
Yeah.
We love that. And we're going to get into some other fantastic stories from dealing with some glitches in the Matrix, as well as the Cryptid Corner. So we've got a lot on the deck tonight. Hopefully we'll get to most of it, maybe quite a bit of it, but we'll see how time goes, because it always is a time anomaly here in the portal.
That it is.
That it is. So let's see how we're doing. Don, anything to share before we get underway? Did you miss us?
I'm speechless. I've missed you so much. Everybody and everyone. And
yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Every time Don breaks a toe, an angel gets its wings.
Oh, that's a lot of toes, bro.
I don't know. Maybe there ain't that many angels. I don't know. All right. Here we go, folks. Let's get to some of the news, and we'll dig into just more of this fun and see what we can uncover.
Awesome.
Not a lot of news. I'm kind of pacing the news back a little bit, but anyway, let's see what I pulled up for your enjoyment. See what Ruthie said?
No, I can't. I gotta find it.
Oh, you gotta find it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You mean the show?
Yeah. I'm sorry, being in my life. I'm a bad life guy. Here we go. We can do this.
We're getting there, folks. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your anchor, Brent Thomas.
And I'm still unready.
Yeah, well, you're kind of out of the rhythm now. You've got a couple weeks under your belt. And
well, you know.
well,
It's hard to keep time when you got a broken flipper.
Well, that's true. That's true. But you just take it easy there, Don. I'll do the heavy lifting.
Okay.
I've got some news articles pulled up for you guys, and hopefully you find them entertaining and enjoyable, as well as perhaps even intriguing.
Oh, thank you, Ruthie.
Ruthie. All right, here we go. First article up for Bat tonight here on the Paranormal Portal newscast.
Wait, I take that back because I read what she wrote up there. Let's do some BKs for Dawn.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Ruthie.
I was shocked you were thanking her. I didn't think you'd be so exuberant about that.
Well, she said, missed you, Don. Glad you're here today.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
I was just going with the BEK one. Because Don hates BEK stories. He freaks out about them. All right, so the first up, we got it from a site called unexplained-mysteries.com, folks. It's a magnificent site. I love this site. And I hope you guys check it out. I hope you support what they're doing over there, because they do it really well. And first up, we got an article here, and it says, Unexplainedmysteries.com tells us, what would aliens learn if they observed the Earth?
They would probably go backwards in evolution.
Turn around, honey. Turn around.
Lock the doors. We're going through the slums.
Let's go back to the magma fields. Yeah, I'm sure if they sat and observed, they probably. Here's the thing. I know that generally speaking, we only get the bad news. 99% of what we get is bad news. It's sensational, and it's targeted towards consumerism. Keep people afraid, keep them worried, because then they get to be, absolutely ravenous consumers. And so obviously it's an agenda, but there's a lot of wonderful things in the world too. And unfortunately they don't get near the press. And that's actually sad. And that's actually too bad.
Maggie says they'd learn that there's no intelligent life on Earth. Beam me up, Scotty.
We do seem to be running a deficit in several key areas, but by and large, I think people are try to be good. I don't think anybody goes out with the idea that I'm a dick and I'm just going to be a dick. Well, I mean, there may be some, but generally speaking, people.
I try to be nice.
Yeah, well, you do pretty well most of the time.
I get told at work, you're just being to everybody. No, I'm brusque and to the point.
Brusque. All right, oh God, this is a long one.
Wow.
We'll read the first couple paragraphs. I don't think
TLDR.
Yeah, I wish they had a TLDR on these. I mean, look at all that.
Yeah.
This guy's real proud of him, and maybe he's right. I don't know. He's talking about the Kardashev scales and stuff. Astrophysicist Michael Garrett takes a look at what inquisitive aliens might be able to find out by observing our planet. Well, they'd find out that we like sticking together in big cities primarily, and we're not really good at taking care of our garbage. We have rampant consumerism, and we don't like to exercise a whole lot, by and large. It says, are we alone in the universe? It's a question that fascinates scientists and the public alike. In science, the focus tends to be on our search for life elsewhere. The idea that we might be watched by a distant alien civilization, however, is usually confined to the realm of science fiction. But if there are other technological civilizations out there, they'd probably be significantly more developed than we are. After all, we've only just emerged as a fledgling technical industrial civilization. Fledgling.
We're still crawling in the mud compared to...
In the last 200 years, other technical civilizations could easily be 1,000 or 10,000 or even 100,000 years more advanced than we are. Could be millions. Yeah. I mean, how do we know? And no one can deny that the pace of our own technological.
He's making.
Thank you very much. Our own technological progress is accelerating. In other words, in some areas at a blistering pace. To paraphrase science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke's third law, an advanced civilization would appear to us as capable of magic in terms of their technical prowess. Yep. Over the last few years, my colleagues and I started to think about whether an advanced civilization could detect the technological signatures, such as radio emissions from Earth, and if so, what they might detect. Well, here's the thing, and I agree with this person, that we're so focused on radio signatures, perhaps aliens didn't develop that way. Maybe they just saw, there's radio signatures all over the place, from pulsars, neutron stars, any kind of astronomical event, atmospheric events, etc. So maybe they went, let's figure out something else. Maybe they went totally quantum from the get-go. Nice. And so they may not have hit this same level of development.
You only talked about this like 3 weeks ago. We talked about this same thing.
Well, I think we talked about it for years, actually.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's an important point. But what would they find? If you want to read this, you can hear their summation of it. I just think that by and large, if they're paying attention to our news, they're going to find that they want to stay away.
Yeah.
It's like, lock the doors, kids, roll up the windows. We're going by Earth.
Yeah, no doubt. We're driving as fast as we can. Why did they have to put the freeway right here?
Fill up the tank before we get near Earth, will you?
We're not making any pit stops there.
There's no pit stops. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, our medias don't paint a real flattering picture of our human condition.
Dad, I gotta pee.
Hold it. Well, never mind. I can't
been
even.
holding it for 14 parsecs.
I almost said something so stupid that it would have, and it wasn't even intentional. It was just the first planet to pop in my head, and it was like, no, don't say that. Anyway, thank you, Don.
I just want to make sure I was right.
Just to make sure we hit that gutter sometime. Boy, we missed you, Don. Oh, we missed you. So anyway, what will they find out? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's good here, but if they're looking at our media, they can't be real impressed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our media is not doing a very good job, personifying us as a civilization. We're more like a bunch of warring tribes.
Right.
And that certainly isn't the case. But anyway, let's move to the next one. Here's a UFO sighting from years ago. In fact, 29 years ago.
Oh. And
it's still perplexing after all this time. And I don't know if I've heard of this one or not. I just saw the headline. I was like, well, let's talk about this. All right, so from unexplained-mysteries.com, mass UFO sighting over Lake Michigan remains a mystery 29 years on. And again, by T.K. Randall. This guy's so busy, this person.
He's prolific.
I guess, yeah, really. Something strange was witnessed by hundreds of people over the waters of Lake Michigan back on March 8th, 1994. The incident, which to this day remains one of the most intriguing mass UFO sightings in history, is reported by witnesses along some 200 miles of Lake Michigan's shorelines. What made the sightings so compelling was the fact that they were reported by not just residents, but also a policeman, a local meteorological team, thus making them much more difficult to dismiss.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't atmospheric. I was standing right there, and that's what I do for a living.
Are you kidding? Weathermen are always wrong. One witness, Cindy Pravda of Grand Haven, recalled seeing 4 strange lights in the sky that night. I'm known as the UFO lady of Grand Haven. I don't know if that's a title you want. Is it? She told the Detroit Free Press, I watched them for half an hour. When I'm facing them, the one on the left moved off. It moved to the highway and then came back in the same position. The one to the right was gone in a blink of an eye, and then eventually everything disappeared quickly. Elsewhere, Daryl and Holly Graves, along with their son Joey, reported seeing something similar over Holland, Michigan at around the same time on the same night.
Wow.
I saw 6 lights out the window above the barn across the street, said Joey. I got up and went to the sofa and looked up at the sky, and they were red and white and moving. Holland police officer Jeff Velthaus, who also witnessed the lights, described seeing 5 or 6 objects, some cylindrical, with blue, red, white, and green lights. Leo Grenier of the National Weather Service office in Muskegon County later revealed that several unknown echoes had been picked up on radar at the time of Velthaus's sighting. My guy looked at the radar and observed 3 echoes as the officer was describing the movement, he said. The movement of the objects was rather erratic. The echoes were about 15 minutes drifting slowly southwest, kind of headed along the Chicago side of the south end of Lake Michigan. As things stand, however, no definitive explanation for these sightings has ever been found.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is of course, you can't just say it was drones.
Right.
There wasn't drones in 94. And if they were military.
Right. They weren't small. They weren't small.
Yeah, they weren't small. They were like Cessna-sized, things
right.
with missiles. So
those Predator drones.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's pretty bizarre. So what did they see? Well, it sounds like they saw some UFOs. What do you think, Don?
The Lake Michigan lights, the Phoenix lights.
Yeah.
The Lake Michigan lights.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Oh.
But it sounds good.
It does. That should be the new tagline for that article. Yeah.
I need money.
Yeah. I'm not sure that pays real well, but
I'll sell it to you.
Oh no, I'm not really in the market.
Not them, not you. Them.
Oh, them.
Yeah,
sure, give it a shot.
$1 million.
Let me know how that works.
Yeah.
Let me know how those negotiations span out.
Me. It's okay.
Cash App.
Cash App me. Don Longbeard.
There you go on Cash App, folks. But very cool article. I don't know. I did hear about that years and years ago. It's amazing. These things are still head scratchers all these years later. And it doesn't surprise me. It's not like we're any closer to solving the UFO mystery than we were, in the 90s.
Jeff Keith says in the chat, it says, it's fascinating to observe the cultural shift on the subject of UFOs from the early 90s to present.
Yeah.
Yes, but then again, we had Art Bell for that. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, that and the soft disclosure from the Navy videos, the TikTok stuff. I think.
Soft disclosure.
Right.
It's like, it's like...
Don't
It's
go
like-
there. Don't do it, Don. Don't do it.
I was going to say melted ice cream.
Oh,
soft.
okay. I thought you were going for Chuck Wah guitars or something. So, the way you said it was almost creepy in my ears.
Soft disclosure.
That's not what it was. It wasn't an adult movie. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're any closer, but at least we have. I think he's right. I think that now more than ever, it's not being scoffed and ridiculed
Right.
as much. I mean, when you'd watch the news, if anything ever hit the news, it'd be like,
You can
let's
hear
go
it.
to Jackie out the field where
Right.
somebody saw a trash can up in the sky. You know, it was a dumpster fire, 30,000 feet. You know, or something dumb like that.
There's enough dumpster fires on the friggin' ground. Holy crap! Half the people I meet are dumpster fires.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? I don't meet many people though, so I probably have a much lower margin there. It's hard to meet people when you're always at home. I'm almost agoraphobic, I think, sometimes. Jeez. What is this? Oh, come on. That shouldn't be like that. Can't be reached.
Guess it gave up.
Oh, that's not good. That
Your-
was for
your
one of my...
fiber internet just went.
No, my fiber's fine. It's the site just suddenly nerfed, and that's a site I got pulled up for one of the investigation films.
Is that a hard fast rule on that word nerf?
I don't know.
What does it mean?
Just get that screwed up, I guess. Nerfed.
Huh. Okay.
What do you? What?
I'm still trying to figure out what yeet is.
Oh, I don't know what the hell a yeet is either. I have no idea. I thought it was a vegetable for a long time.
Oh.
What do you mean you got yeeted? What is that?
What is that? Is it contagious?
Does it spread? I don't want to get yeeted. All right, here we go. Next up on the news, unexplained-mysteries.com brings us NASA. We may have only 30 minutes warning that a solar storm is coming. Yeah, because generally speaking, those particles just go right from the sun to us.
Well, you know.
It's not like they take the scenic route. They just go right in a line.
Yeah.
Wherever that solar eruption comes from, and they head to us. But let's see what it says. This is actually short. Good. The space agency has stressed that there may be very little warning that a disruptive solar storm is about to hit the Earth. The last time a coronal mass ejection from the sun hit the Earth was in 1921, a time long before computers, mobile phones, and many other things that we now take for granted. More recently, however, scientists have warned that if a major solar storm happened now, it could cause serious disruption to our way of life due to the reliance on electronic communications.
Yep.
Imagine what would happen if every mobile phone stopped working. The internet went down for weeks or even months, and even the power grid stopped working for an extended period of time.
I think people would go into detox.
Caveman mode.
About missing the.
There'd be roving masses of people looking for entertainment. Now, in a renewed effort to find a way to help warn people about the impending solar storm, NASA's been using artificial intelligence to analyze and interpret data relating to solar activity. Well, there you go. If successful, the research could produce an early warning system capable of informing people about a solar storm about 30 minutes in advance. See, there again, we're going right to the AI stuff. And I mean, you have all these people going, don't trust AI. You don't know. You just don't know. And all of these people are like, well, we're just going to have AI keep an eye on this. Meanwhile, AI is going, humans are bad.
Unless you teach it about diversity.
Well, then apparently it destroys itself. If successful, the research could produce an early warning system capable of informing people about a solar storm around 30 minutes in advance. It's still not much, but it might be enough to prepare for and avoid some of the worst effects. As things stand, it's not a question of if such an event will occur, but when. All we can do is hope that the world will be ready when it does.
So, solar storms have been recorded as causing chaos on Earth as early as the mid 1800s,
Sure.
when they sparked fires and brought down telegraph systems.
Good God.
In 1903, a solar storm disrupted telegraphs and transatlantic cable and shut down Swiss streetcars. In March of 1940, a particularly severe storm burned fuses and damaged hundreds of miles of telegraph and telephone networks, etc., etc., etc.
Etc.
NASA records 3 instances dating back to 1972, which is a year after I was born, of solar storms significantly disrupting daily life.
Sure.
So
That was back then when they hardly had
right,
electronics.
exactly.
Now we would be crippled to be like, no, I'm sorry, you can't get any gas.
Yeah, 2005, X-rays from a solar flare disrupted satellite-to-ground communications and GPSs for about 10 minutes, threatening satellite-guided air, sea, and land travel.
Yikes.
There you go. So yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, if you're not thinking it's, it'll happen again, it happens all the time. You just don't notice it because, fortunately enough, things move in milliseconds when it comes to technology. However, solar flares move much, much faster.
They do. Nearly the speed of light. All right. Well, let's check out, speaking of strange and unusual, here's another one from skynews.com. And speeding driver tried to switch places with his dog to avoid arrest.
What?
He's gonna let his dog take the fall. It wasn't me, officer. It was my dog. I could not control him.
He's got short arms.
He can't see colors, damn it. He had no idea that was a red light.
He doesn't know what red and green is. It's a really cool show from Canada. Oh, jeez.
It's alleged that he showed visible signs of drunkenness.
No way.
And ran away from the officer when asked how much alcohol he had consumed. Not enough. And he took off with his cooler. A driver pulled over for speeding tried to switch places with his dog to avoid arrest, according to police.
I don't think so.
An officer in Colorado said he saw the man move over to the passenger seat on Saturday night shortly before insisting he wasn't behind the wheel. Oh, dear God.
I have my dog, the dog man, driving. He has a license, honest.
Yeah. He's a support dog. Come on. He's licensed.
Don't hurt my feelings. I might stick him on you.
It's alleged that he showed visible signs of drunkenness and ran away from the officer when asked how much alcohol he had consumed. But the suspect didn't get far and was caught just 18 meters or 60 feet away. Yeah, he's probably not much of a sprinter if he's all drunk.
He was probably on the ground going, "Ugh."
He was arrested in a small town called Springfield, which has a population of about 1,300 people.
He's probably, what's his name? God, I hate
Homer?
it. Yes, Homer's.
You mean me?
neighbor.
It wasn't me. I was not there. After being checked over in a hospital, the driver was held on suspicion of charges, including driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Previous warrants had also been issued for his arrest. Well, he sounds like a troubled individual. But there you go. Note to self, don't rely on the dog to take the fall.
Yeah, right?
You're going to the kennel. No, that's not good.
Spuds McKenzie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honest officer, it was the beer swollen Spud McKenzie that was driving.
Yeah, it was a dog from Budweiser. I couldn't help it. All right, he's a bit of a celebrity after all. So, well, there you have it, folks.
But
This
he
has been
drinks Bud Light.
this has been a presentation of the Paranormal Portal. Back to the rest of the show.
Oh yeah, is it gonna get better?
God, I hope so. Jeff Keith says, "Zoinks."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you have it, folks. Just when you thought you heard it all.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Now you've heard a little more.
Bull terriers are horrible dogs
Why?
because they're just so full of energy.
Oh, that's
They're
good. Though.
almost as
spunky
bad as-
little
they're
critters.
Almost as bad
They're
as
spunky
Jack
little
Russells.
critters.
Oh my gosh.
All right, folks. Well, welcome back to the rest of the show. We've got a lot more on deck, obviously.
Did you say we have morons on deck?
That was not plural. I didn't use the S at the end.
What are you trying to imply?
I just said there's only one of us. Which one? It's up to you. Which one of us qualifies as the moron? Man. You guys can take a quick poll and get back to us. But I'll tell you what, we do have more. And speaking of which, we're gonna get to. Let me do this. I'm gonna pin the link in here.
There you go.
To join the Paranormal Portal Discord server, click this link. :https:// discord. Oh, yeah, discord.gg/paranormal portal.
Why didn't you just paste it in?
From where? From here? It'd take me longer to do that than type it. I type with all 10 of my fingers, Don. You type with 2.
You only have 8 fingers.
No, well, I got 2 thumbs that work like fingers too. They can beat the hell out of a space bar, Don. I'm just telling you. I speak Irish. Yeah. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. That's about it.
That's not Lucky Charms. My dang bitch. Wow, you speak English. Whoever wins third place gets title. I have no idea what's going on.
Bilingual. Yeah, I speak English and dork.
Yeah, the phone number's not on the screen. Oh yeah, it's right under Brent's face.
Where's yours? Let's get yours back up. I pull it down when Sheldon's on, so I got to put it back up. There you go. Your lower third is now live, Don. So the number is right below me if you want to call in, and it will be below Don in a minute.
Please don't say that again.
What?
That you pull it down when Sheldon's on.
Jesus. If I had to tailor language to what you might find gutter, I'd be here all night trying to figure out what to say. You could make anything into a sex joke. Don, you have a gift for that. I'm telling you. You can find the smut in anything. You could go to church and find the smut. All right. So
don't let me in the sepulchers.
God.
The confessionals. Nope, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think Merkel will have you.
My God.
All right. So we've got to get to our Discord question of the week, folks. Again, we got a Discord server, and this is where it's just a continuation of the YouTube chat, really. You guys have got
pretty much,
hundreds of other conversations going on over there, and it's really fun to read through them from time to time. I wish I could stick on there a bunch myself, but I stop in several times throughout the day to see what's going on, and it's really, really warms my heart to see all you guys continuing the dialogues long after the regular shows are not on. So, but we also have a segment in our Discord called the question of the week, which we're going to get to right now. It's actually kind of a misnomer because there's 3 questions every week, but each one is a question.
Week, yeah.
I should have said questions of the week, but each one is a question.
There you go.
So they're singular. We deliver them singularly. So this is an opportunity to bring a question dealing with the paranormal. It could be cryptozoology, could be UFO, could be ghosts, could be strange phenomena, and asking you guys for your input, because there are no right answers. There's no settled debates in this field.
This science is not settled.
Yeah. You don't trust the science because there ain't none. But I will tell you that everybody's opinion is just as valid as anybody else's. So it's not to say that anyone's right or wrong. It's just to hear the different viewpoints. And today's question was a little more, I felt like it was a more emotionally charged question, because I think that, especially in dealing with the big feet, there's 2 camps. There's the kill or no kill. And I'm certainly completely on the no kill side. I could see where it may become necessary if your life is in danger, those people you love are in danger, then you've got to make the hard choice. But until then, I don't think you go out and just say, I'm dropping a Bigfoot because I'm going to prove it to the world.
Right.
Because, quite honestly, I think once Bigfoot is proven, that it'll hatch a whole new batch of problems that may change the shape of their future completely. But anyway, let's get to this. And this is, again, the Discord question of the week. We'd love to have you become a part of the discussion. So if you're not already on their Discord server, please get there. Hi, Hoggle. How you doing? Good to see you. Hearts to you, too. But this is how you can become part of it, is look on the screen here. This is our Discord server. And where the question of the week thread is right here. So when you join, if you're new to Discord, this is what you'll find yourself in the general tab. And over on the left are all the discussion groups. And you can just use your scroll wheel on your mouse to go up and down and look at the different things to talk about. You see ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, music, strange phenomena, paranormal library, paranormal movies.
That doesn't say paranormal. That doesn't say paranormal either.
What paranormal. And this one is Man, I gotta talk to Sheldon about his spelling.
It was the spell checker, dang it.
Yeah, I gotta correct those and send them back. But there's also a marketplace up here, of course, where we have our Teespring site is listed here. Oh no, this is the tutorials. Sorry, where the hell am I? I thought I clicked on the marketplace. What did I do? Oh, I actually minimized it. Didn't mean to. What the hell is going on? Cancel.
Apparels. Oh, marketplace. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go. So apparel is right here, and that's the link to our Teespring site. If you want to check out and support by buying some Paranormal Portal gear, go up to the marketplace, click on the link, and you'll be brought to our Teespring site. Crystals and jewelry. We've got this wonderful, this is David Barnes' fiance or wife. I can't remember which. Sorry, David. I'm just an idiot. That's just how my memory works. But this is Love Rocks Company.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
They do beautiful work. As you can see, K-Love bought some of the items there. And also Miscellaneous is here. And Shepherdess makes these amazing rosaries. And they're just beautiful. And those are available here as well. So click through these if you want to support. If any of you have a store or a craft that you'd want to make available to the rest of the people on the Discord, please post it in here wherever it belongs. I think it's wonderful if you guys do that. And we'll have to have Paisley put hers in here too.
I was just about to say we should have Paisley put in her teas and stuff.
Yeah, she does some beautiful work too. So yeah, there's all kinds of options, and there'll be more options coming up. But yeah, it's just wonderful. So anyway, coming back to the Discord question of the week.
Oh yeah, that's what
we're doing. Yeah, it's not just a tour of Discord, but I think it's important to kind of show you guys. There is tutorials if you're brand new to Discord. We have a tutorials discussion group right somewhere. Admin mods, blah blah blah. Discord tutorial. It's right above question of the week. So that'll walk you through. There's some videos in there you can watch to learn how to navigate Discord if you're new to it. But anyway, the question of the week. Don, you got it all ready?
In Bigfoot research, there is a pretty distinct dividing line regarding goals of research. This line in the sand is best described as kill or no kill. Do you feel a body is imperative to promoting Bigfoot research and acknowledgement, or do you think we can accomplish the same goals through more humane efforts? Birdie Kuda says, unfortunately, Bigfoot research will require a body. If we get a roadkill one.
The hell was that?
I think it was the. Yeah, it was. It's okay.
Okay.
It was not my toe falling off.
Oh, okay, good.
Unfortunately, Bigfoot research will require a body. If we can get a roadkill one, that'd be the best option other than trap and tranquilize. Tranquilizers have to be measured exactly or they won't work or it might kill it. And I would hate to be the one that accidentally kills one. Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, what was the name? There was a guy like 10 years ago said he went out and he was hunting a Bigfoot and he shot himself Bigfoot.
Justin Simiha?
Yes, yeah. That's right. And so, but there was nothing to show for it.
Yeah, no, apparently not.
But he killed one. Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, eventually, we're probably going to need a body, but, honestly, you could probably walk on Mount St. Helens and find a body up there from the explosion. So anyhow, but I digress. Lily Pond says, I'm definitely a no-kill advocate. I haven't an ounce of doubt that our government has many bodies to dissect and examine. Why are we waiting for them to grow a conscience and tell us the truth? Yeah, that's never going to happen. We already know the truth. The question I have is, why have they been trying to keep the truth from us? If they're simply flesh and blood animal like a bear, they would have told us the truth long ago. What is it about the woo that is such a threat to them? That's a good question. So next question of the week, perhaps. That's what I really want to know, she says. That's a good question too. No, it's a good answer because, yeah, they probably already do because of Mount St. Helens and every other natural disaster or something like that. There are so many stories from the Mount St. Helens eruption about Bigfoot, Sasquatches, easier to say. You just add an S at the end to make it plural. Sasquatches were helping the Army, National Guard, whoever was up there, in identifying where there were possibly bodies or, Sasquatches that were trapped or, needed emergency services, that kind of thing. There's stories, yes. There's no facts behind it. There's nothing that actually cements it in. But there is that information out there that says it really did happen. So that would be even easier. But I think you're right. I think they already have bodies. James Jack F. I'm with Lily Pond. The 3-letter agencies know everything they probably need to. And it doesn't involve us knowing. Because maybe it has something to do with our lineage. Or maybe these things come here to eat from somewhere completely different. But if it was a normal animal, unfortunately, they would have been in a zoo or a circus probably. Yeah, by now, yeah, definitely. If they do come from somewhere else and visit here, that means they have to admit that they know about other realms and know more about these beings. I think the best chance of finding out more solely realizes on everyone. Realize.
Rely, R-E-L-Y.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Solely relies on everyone with the truthful experience bringing their missing piece, missing piece, of this crazy puzzle. Just my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely. They'd have to admit too much. And they don't like doing that. ZX81 version 2 says they need to treat Bigfoot like a tribe of people no one has had contact with. They are as dangerous as each other, but you don't have to go out and shoot the people of the tribe. You always find ways of communicating. Same as a tribe of Bigfoot. They must be more than 150 out there, else they would be extinct by now. Well, true enough. Even wild animals have respect if you have respect for them in general, unless you're a honey badger. Watch the video. Watch the video of people who've trapped animals in hunting traps, escape, and reactions from said animals afterwards. No matter how dangerous they... no, we're honey badgers. These people have history. They should be respected as a hominid, at least. I've always said the worst thing that could happen is that they could catch a Bigfoot, because every idiot with a gun will go out hunting. Mankind is fickle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, fickle and full of hubris.
Not only the people that would hunt, but just the people that would just load their families into the station wagon and hit the woods to see one themselves.
Yeah, that's just...
I mean, there suddenly would be just a population spike in national forests.
Wow, David Paulides would be very busy.
There'd be boneyards out there, people.
Yep. Chucky Danger, just going by the Sasquatch Genome Project and its continued development, Sasquatch is a genetically modified human hybrid. Some results from 13 different DNA labs in a blind study over 100 test samples. This, in combination with track casts, audio, video, and witness testimony, should be more than sufficient to make a case that not only is this being real, but also very similar to us in physiology. This would be more than enough evidence to put nails in the coffin of a criminal case.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why humanity is so insistent on needing more. Because of the pushback, because of this is my opinion, of course. Everything is in my humble opinion. It's not very humble, but okay. But that's why we have soft disclosure of UFOs, which is just another denial in a sense. So yeah, it's because nobody will be able to handle the news. K-Love says everybody's feedback is fantastic and sums it all up for me. Bowser said, I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
B. Mora, hi. I just realized who she was not last week, the week before. It's an unfortunate line in the sand, but everything that we know about Bigfoot isn't enough. It will take a body to prove, and even then, not everyone will accept it. I would like for them to stay hidden and safe, but it won't be possible because of the technology that's available. Military won't help. They don't need to. They've already found them. It's going to take the private sector to provide proof. Absolutely. Shepherdess says, from a purely scientific standpoint, I would have to say yes, there needs to be a body, whether that be detained or killed. That being said, another question should seriously ask ourselves is, do we really want to find out what's going on with this cryptid/creature? What is it? Or are we happier with the mystery? It's about the journey, not the destination.
Good point.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Stacy. She's here, by the way. How you doing?
Oh, very good.
Stacy says, maybe I just don't fully understand the end game, what the end game is to Bigfoot research, but I'm totally against killing one in order to further the study. Is it just to prove that they exist? If so, why does it need to be proven? Just so Bigfoot researchers don't look crazy in the eyes of others?
It's kind of a good point.
Yeah. To me, researching them is learning about how they live their daily lives, what sustains them, and how they react with one another, as well as humans, etc.
Mm-hmm.
None of which can be learned from dissecting one of their bodies. Why do we as humans think it's our responsibility to gather and dissect every living creature on the earth, especially one that's closer to human than any other, and has shown that is most probably every bit as intelligent as we are, and definitely more than some people I know. Yes, there is a no doubt on that one. It's one thing to find a body and do research on it for those with the absolute need to find out their DNA, etc. But just to go out and kill one because you're curious about such things is pretty twisted in my opinion.
Yeah.
No matter the findings of such research, it does nothing to further humanity. Absolutely correct. Solve world problems, yup, or cure the sick, etc. So in the long run, I just don't see what's actually gained. Just my thoughts, not trying to step on toes of any differing opinions. That's absolutely okay. Once again, there are no experts.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong answers. So
Nope.
I just love that about this thread, though, is because we get a chance to hear your thoughts,
Right.
and those are amazing. Your guys' thoughts are amazing.
Just here and there, 66. I don't think getting a body would make a difference. I think you're right as well. The body would be confiscated and the person might disappear. It's
Sure.
happened before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not with this, but in other things, well, anyhow. I'm sure the government has all the studies, DNA research, and many other answers that regular people have not even thought of. If it was killed in self-defense, then research away.
Sure.
That's exactly what you just said, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's never an event where it would be okay to it's either you or them kind of thing. Certainly, if you're there with your family camping, just having a nice time, and
Right.
and one comes in and is trying to tear your loved one apart, then it's game on, I guess,
Right.
because there's no more discussion. But I have to agree. I think there is already plenty of evidence to substantiate the species.
Right.
And again, I don't think that it's necessary to put one on a slab. I think we probably just need better surveillance technologies that they don't detect or figure out what that is that they are detecting about our existing ones. How is it they can see trail cams a mile away? Well, if they're seeing IR, then we got to come up with a different spectrum. I think that Starlight cameras will probably turn a real page in that research effort.
Those real low light cameras
Yeah,
would
the ones
just be
just
perfect.
use ambient light.
Right.
You know, on a moonlit, even in a forest, a moonlit night would provide enough light, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and the starlight cameras, the sensors are so sensitive now that they don't need an IR boost. They don't need that. They can just do it from the starlight that's coming in, even if there's no moon.
Right.
So, I think that's probably, that to me makes more sense. If indeed, because we have substantiated species without bodies. Science has substantiated species just by, hey, we saw them and we took pictures and we can prove that they're there. Okay, well, they're there. It didn't require them, you know, bringing one in and picking it apart and stuff. And then you can do the observing and watch how they subsist and forage and what do they subsist on? What is their social structures like? You know, it's the short road is to provide a body and say, here it is. We know it's there. But even with bodies, as we learned with dinosaur bones, they have the bones and sometimes they don't know how to put them together.
Well,
and they make up things like unicorn tyrannosaurus.
That was awesome. That was friggin' awesome. Yeah. But you know what? There's dinosaur deniers as well.
Oh, sure. I know. I understand. But
no, they're all, chickens are dinosaurs for
yeah, but my point being is that there are other ways to substantiate the species without requiring. I mean, the problem is we just don't know how many there are. So if you took out one big male, you might be affecting the breeding population of that whole region for generations. Yeah. Just because you've removed that biodiversity and suddenly you have inbreeding and God only knows what that would produce. Maybe Dogman. I'm just kidding.
Right.
But, it's just, it's a great, it's an emotionally charged question. And it's one that I knew that would strike a chord with some people. And it wasn't me trying to, poke the bear on that. But I think it's definitely something we've never, we've talked about it, but I've never really heard your guys' thoughts on it. Right. So I was really curious what you guys might say.
And that was great interaction too, by the way.
It is. It's always, you guys are always amazing. And thank you so much to everybody that's taking part. Again, the link is pinned on the top of the YouTube chat. So if you'd like to become a part of these discussions, we'd love to have you over there. The Discord doesn't cost anything. It's free. And we just love to have you take part and become part of the community. Offer your links of things you found that are interesting in the respective groups and continue the conversations. So, but thank you everybody that participated in this. I really, really enjoy your feedback. So, with that in mind, I guess that will do it for the Discord question of the week. All right, Discord question of the week is over. Now, as you know, the Ghost Radar is up, and I actually have two. I don't know, is this one actually visible? No, it's not. I got two of them here.
Yeah, it's not.
This one's kind of running out of juice.
You have two of those. Oh.
I got a whole box of them.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want one, I'll send you home with one.
Huh? No.
Well, they're cat toys primarily.
My freaking cats will play with them.
Well, sure, that's fine.
No,
that's
it's
fine.
not.
But
got a whole freaking box.
There's two of them up there now. I just thought maybe with doubles. And on Saturday night we'll put them. We'll set up the table over there and have a few of them up, just in case, because I don't know, they're cheap little things, and I was thinking, well, maybe they have tried to make one go off and it's real stubborn, and so we'll put a few of them up, and it would just be another opportunity to get some authentication to some activity. So that'll be on Saturday's show. If you're so inclined to come hang out with me, you can be a part of it. Last time we did it, we were doing the Ghost app and stuff, and had some great feedback from the chat. You guys seemed to really like it and talked about how exciting it was. So we'll keep doing it. I actually got a message through YouTube comment, and somebody said, have you ever thought that maybe by doing this, the person said, I love the show, and thank you so much. And I do appreciate feedback, so don't ever get me wrong. Person said, have you ever considered when you do the live ghost research that you might be raising activity in people's homes? And I responded, I was like, honestly, long before I did the live research stuff, I've been getting emails from people saying when I watch your show, activity, ticks up at my home. Somebody wrote me saying that a picture keeps flying off their wall every time my show is on. So it's a phenomenon that's been happening anyway. But I don't know. I mean, it's certainly a concern. I don't want to open doors in other people's homes, and so if there's any more feedback like that, please let me know. But I've decided to probably just cut it down, other than the passive stuff like the ghost radar that you see on the screen below and the cat balls. We'll just be real passive with it. But on Saturday, we'll dig into it.
Cat toys.
Yeah, they are cat toys. But what is that funny?
Not cat balls, cat toys.
Okay. Well, they're little balls. I'm sorry. Cats play with the little balls, Don. I don't know what to say. Hi, Portal Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, Jaren's in here too. Well, Don, who's here? Why don't you do shout outs?
You wanted to do shout outs. I was going to say that before.
Let's do shout outs. If you want to shout out, you got to type something.
Start typing. You better start shouting.
Because we only get active participants on our list.
Right.
So if you're passively sitting back, we won't know.
So if you're a passive aggressive progressive. First one on the list is aggravated progressive. So a passive aggravated progressive.
There you go.
B Mora, there you are. Oh my goodness. Birdie Kuda, Chucky Danger. Hey Jaron. K-Love's here. Lily Pond, Luna Moonicorn, Meggie M10, Nathan Nate, Chris Sir HC. Digger Dog's here. Hi Digger. John Stevenson, Portal Mom, Private Eye with Jody and Stacy. That would be Jody. Is it Maya, right? Maya Zara?
Yep, Maya. Okay.
RJ Windwalker, that's a new one to me. Rachel Gets It Right. That's not a new one to me.
Oh, we know
Ron the
Rachel.
Sage, how you doing, Ron? Ruthie Castro's here. Sugar Britches and The Unknown. Let's see here. There's Stacy back running with Stacy and Jody. There you go. Hoggles Chambers, how you doing? Jeff Keith, Jess. Hi, Jess. Got to say hi to Jess. Kristen Lee.
John Stevenson.
Yep, John Stevenson.
Do you know that Cirque is actually Chris backwards?
I knew that.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I think he had to explain it to me too. So
Yeah.
I wasn't quite quick enough to get that on my own.
Right. Yeah. Some days it's just worse.
There was another name that RJ or something. Did you say that one?
Yep. Matt Terrell.
Okay.
That's not what I said earlier.
Man.
All right. Well, that is it. Have a great night.
Don's done. That means Don's done.
We're done. We're done here.
We're not done. We've got so much more. It's just incredible. We have incredible amounts of fun left to bring you. First up is...
Oh, no. Wait a minute. What Jody says, told our other sister that we're going to the cemetery to play with our balls just to see the reaction of her face.
Wow. How'd that go over? I can't even comment on that without sounding like an absolute pig.
My toe is much better. Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, his toe was disconnected, much like his microphone most of the time.
Much like his mind from his mouth.
No, that would require a filter.
All right, yeah. Well, the filter's disconnected.
Yeah. And that's the truth. Yeah. I'm just going to drain some agua.
Don't go there. I gotta get all right, Vegas Dirt Pusher. Oh, hey, Vegas Dirt Pusher's here, by the way.
Good to see you. Yeah.
So there you go.
Tired. Got to get up at 11 hours in Vegas. Sun 95 today. Hot. Wow.
Yeah,
it's been a hot summer, dude. I think, to all of you guys, I think it's been a pretty warm spring. It's like it went right from winter to summer. There wasn't really the whole spring thing yet.
Well, I think spring's been throwing a fit because it's been snowing. We had torrential rains a few days ago, but it went from summer, it went from winter to summer, and in between there, spring has thrown a couple fits, or at least cried on us. I think that's what it was. It was just crying. Well, you guys just passed me right by.
Oh, Sherry's here. How you doing, Sherry? Good to see you.
Okay.
Popped in.
Sherry. Oh, hi.
And Moth. That's a new name. I love you, Jojo. I'm not sure who Jojo is. but good to see a moth. That's a new name for me. I've not seen that one before.
Yep.
Very cool. All
Hey,
right.
By the way, Sheree, where's your dad? You got to tell him to pop his head in here every now and then.
Yeah, tell him we've been taking attendance for a while, and he's
been
really in trouble.
Noticeably absent.
Yeah, we're gonna have to give him a detention.
Yep.
All right. I don't even know what that means. All right, so we're gonna go to an article
He's
now.
gonna get time out. Wait, he's
Put
not
him in a
time out.
corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
You stay there.
All right, so let's get to an article now. We're gonna do some glitches in the Matrix. Moments that made us question everything. Now you're wondering what site did this come from? What absolutely astounding paranormal site? It's Money Awaits.
Money awaits.
I don't know why they do this. All these sites, these weird sites. We had Mort or something.
And you can't even find them if
I
you're
know.
like at their website. You can
No.
never find these pages.
No, they're just totally drumming up. I think the reason they do these Reddit scrape articles like this is because if it wasn't for the Brave browser, by the way, I use the Brave browser a lot for the articles because it strips ads off. Otherwise, you'd be battling ads all the time. So
Is it like taken down by bottom third.
I don't know what's up with your bottom third, Don. Not sure what's going on with your top third either. But
The middle third is the important thing.
that's where the food goes.
That's how you build a roof over your tools.
Yeah, well, good luck with that roof and the tools, for that matter. I don't want to talk about your tools here on the show now. But I think they do these aggregate scrapes of Reddit, and then they butcher the hell out of them with ads. So
Yes.
because they're just revenue raisers, and because they're clickbaity.
Yep.
Like these eerie glitch in the Matrix moments made us question everything. Now it's by David Cunningham, and I think they do a good job on these articles. I'm not mocking them, but it's just you wouldn't expect to find this on moneyawaits.com. But that's exactly where I found it. And here goes. The first one is total eclipse of the Matrix. I have a childhood memory that still haunts me to this day. In my kindergarten class back in the USSR, I distinctly remember the sky going dark for some time and the teacher rushing us all inside. Then, after an unknown amount of time, it went back to bright again. My parents denied that there was a solar eclipse that day, and I couldn't find any record of one either, though I should check again. Nevertheless, I distinctly remember that happening. Ooh, that's almost biblical. Like if the day goes to night.
Right.
Ooh, I guess it would probably be a old world explanation for an eclipse when the day turns to night.
Right.
But they were always considered very, very powerful events. But yeah, but if there wasn't an eclipse,
Hey, look.
hey, what?
The gods put a ring on it.
Okay, Beyonce. All right, number two, second chance. One night I got a phone call from my next door neighbor late in the evening, asking if I could help him move a mattress into one of his upstairs bedrooms. I think we read this one before. His mom was ill and has a big, heavy sleep number bed, and I, of course, ran over to help because they're great neighbors. Well, I get over there, and his friend, who is also a priest, was there to help. Well, I helped them figure out how to separate the mattress from the bed so we could fit it upstairs, and we get it all moved up and back in place. And then my neighbor asks if I can help move an armoire upstairs too. Well, I think nothing of it, and we pull it out of this travel trailer and start bringing it up the front steps of the house. And this is where I died. The front steps are 11 steps. I was on the lower end of the armoire, about 6 steps up, when my neighbor and his friends lose a handle on the armoire, and it comes crashing down on me. And I fall backwards toward the pavement.
Oh, my.
At that moment, I wake up in my dining room to my phone ringing and my wife asking me if I'm going to answer the phone. And this is where it gets really freaky. It's my neighbor asking me if I can help move a bed upstairs for his mom.
Do over.
I go over there and meet his priest friend again, as this is supposedly the first time I met him. And I say I can help with the bed, but I can't help with the armoire. My neighbor was like, how'd you know about the armoire?
Creeper.
And I then proceeded to tell them about what had just happened. I spent the next hour talking with the priest, and he was blown away. And he had so many questions. My neighbor didn't believe it until I described the upstairs bedroom in perfect detail down to the metal mattress frame on the floor and the intricate headboard leaning up against the wall. I had never been upstairs in their house before. The priest asked me what I saw after it happened, and I told him I never actually passed, and that before it happened, I woke up at my dining room table. Oof. Well, that's good. That's a do-over, like you said. And
Yeah.
I mean, my God, could you imagine? It's like Groundhog Day, but in a good way.
Right.
But in a really good way.
Getting a second chance.
Yep. Okay, so programfamily.exe has crashed. Oops, that doesn't sound good. My boyfriend and I were taking a walk through a long park on the outskirts of Seattle. What happened?
Seattle.
Oh. And we just happened to go down the life is simulation and Mandela effect rabbit hole. We had an ongoing joke about it since we have so many strange experiences, and we'll casually be like, well, the simulation's messed up today. We do this semi-regularly. We just happen to be talking about everything and how life has been so strange ever since we started paying attention to it like that. The park wasn't very crowded at all that day, so we were walking behind a single family and 2 women and a few kids running around probably more than 50 yards ahead of us. My boyfriend jokingly pointed to the birds and said, yep, it's all fake. So I jokingly pointed at the family ahead and said, that family's fake too. Somebody's probably watching us watch them. And that was the exact moment it happened.
Oh boy.
The 2 women completely freeze in their tracks and stop talking. They then turned around and stare in our direction, completely in sync.
Wow.
I thought maybe they heard me, but I repeated to him that even with strong, what is that? But I repeated to him that even with strong, but that it's impossible because I pretty much whispered and they were so far ahead. Well, they continued to stare without moving a muscle. We both looked behind us like, are they looking at us? But no one was in sight. They just froze, no movement. The kids were just standing around silently too. It lasted for such a long time that even though we were far away, we ended up having to walk right by where they were standing. As we passed by, they continued to stare into nothing. It was so uncomfortable, but it didn't feel like it was right to say anything. We truly just didn't understand. It took us the rest of the walk to try to digest what had just happened. And we weren't even in a joking mood anymore, just really weirded out. They didn't talk, no emotion. They weren't looking for anyone. They just froze. As soon as we were about 20 feet past them, they just resumed, walking and talking like nothing had happened and the kids were playing again. It still gives me the chills.
Wow.
That's by Luna Sophie 29. That's creepy, huh, Don?
Yeah, that is creepy.
I mean, what would you do? you gotta imagine you're in that situation. What would you do? How would you cope with that? I mean, really, would you go poke them? Like, hello?
Hell no.
No, I mean, now.
Because I'd probably fall into their dimension and be lost.
Don would
lost
go.
to time.
Don would go to vegetable mode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do either, but if let's say that really is the construct of reality, like it really is that artificial, and we are surrounded by these NPCs, and I'm not opposed to that idea to some degree. I think generally we're probably more organic than AI or NPCs, but I think that I may have met some NPCs. You meet those people that just don't seem to have any kind of depth at all. They're just very, very much just cutouts.
Vapid.
Almost.
White
Yeah.
drunk.
And I'm not just talking about just, the silly dingy kind of thing. I'm just talking about people that just seem to be automatons.
Yeah.
Like they're just nothing to them, like emotionally.
Like their walk-in walked out.
Yeah, they just had to walk out, not walk in. Somebody went on strike, said, I'm done. But I mean, what if it is that artificial? And would it, I mean, does it does it crash the Matrix in a sense? Is that what happened in this moment where their little segment of the Matrix rebooted because it's like, wait a minute, they're onto us.
Something's not right. We must have went into 2D.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's creepy as hell just to think about what would a situation like that be, and it's horrible.
Oh my God, we're going abstract.
Yeah, I'm going Picasso here. All right, 4, Swan Song is next. I was 12, and my brother was 8. It's not that funny. He's only 12, Don. That's not funny.
Stacy said, Jody said, lick their cheek and see if it sticks.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's just when they come to and press charges.
Exactly.
No, I thought it was a Matrix, Your Honor. Yeah, 20 years. Just hope the judge is organic.
Malfunctioning carbon units.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry, okay.
All right, I was 12, my brother was 8, and we're living with our dad after he and mom separated. Dad ruled with an iron fist when it came to school attendance. He wouldn't let us stay home unless we were bleeding or hospitalized. Yeah, some guy that needs some quality time. Nevertheless, I still try to stay home from school at times. And one day, I tried faking a headache so I could stay home, and his reaction was bizarre. He immediately said yes, but that I would have to stay with him all day. I asked why, and he said, because I need you here. Fast forward to lunchtime when we're sitting at the table eating. I look at him, and he's looking at me with a look that I'd never seen before. Then before I could process it, he collapses onto the floor.
Wow.
He had a massive heart attack, and that took his life almost instantly. If my dad didn't let me stay home, my little brother would have found his body after school, and he would have been there for hours.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think my brother would have recovered from that. It took me over 10 years to recover from it myself, quite honestly. But then another thing happened that I can't explain. I used to go to sleep with the radio on, and for the 3 nights before my dad had the heart attack, I'd wake up during the night to a particular song playing. Same song every night for 3 nights until he passed. Later, they played that song at his funeral.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't told anyone what had happened, and that was by Female Diction 5. Wow.
That sucks.
That's tragic to have to witness that. Oh. I mean, it would be horrible to come home and see it, somebody had been dead for hours.
Right.
That's horrible too, but my God. Number 5, location. I once had an Android phone that had a Google Cards feature option. I don't know what that means. But this would notify you of how far you were from home at various times, like 15 minutes to home if you went out somewhere. Well, I thought this feature was annoying and useless, so I kept it turned off. After several months of no cards notifications, the feature randomly appeared to turn back on by itself. Could be just an update, though. I'm just sitting at home alone one night when a card pops up saying 35 minutes to home. Well, I thought it was weird since I was home. So I looked at the map to see where it thought I was, and it was pinning me at a random intersection on the other side of town.
I think we've read this.
I think so, too. I think it's familiar, right? For the time being, let's call that intersection First Street and Story. And I think to myself, well, that's weird. I'm not even close to where it thinks I am. I don't even know where that is. I've never been to that area. I go to my card settings to turn the feature back off, but it says it's already turned off. Well, that's weird. The next night, the exact same thing happens again. 35 minutes to home from First Street and Story. What the heck? I was still definitely not over there. And I checked the card settings, and the notifications are still turned off, so I have no idea why I'm getting a notification. Then a few days later, a friend and I are out running errands. While driving, he misses his intended exit, so he takes the next one. Once on the streets, I ask, where are we? I've never been here before. Suddenly, a car to our right tries to turn left and crashes right into us. He messed up the wheel to the point where he was unable to turn, so he pulled forward to the curb to call a tow truck. We had our kids in the car, so I called my sister to come pick us up. And when my sister asked me for the location, I looked at the street signs. The intersection was First Street and Story. Ooh, that's by Chocolate Wasted. I don't know what that means. Chocolate Wasted. Okay, got it. Aha, clever. Sometimes the Reddit names are real clever. All right. No, isn't that weird, though?
Yeah.
We did read that one before, though,
I
didn't
think
we?
so, yeah.
That was quite a while ago. Yeah, some of these are recycled, folks. I mean, these are just Reddit scrapes, so I don't pre-read the entire articles because I just don't have the time. So sometimes we do a repeat stories, but by God, it's still a good story. Number 6, I dreamed a dream. Not sure if anyone will believe me or not, but screw it, here it goes. When I was in high school, my friend Phil took his own life. Aw, I hate that. I never really knew the specifics. All I know is that he took himself out with a gun at one of the local parks. Fast forward to 6 years or so later. I'm asleep in bed next to my wife one night. I'm having a fairly normal dream. In my dream, I was at a store doing something or another, and I can't really remember the specifics of the beginning of the dream. What I do remember is bumping into Phil in the store.
What?
When I saw him, everything suddenly got super weird. He actually looked like himself, not like in most dreams where people will be certain people but not look like them. This guy actually looked like the real Phil. He looked at me and smiled and said, "Hey, man." At that moment, the dream got crystal clear, and asked him if it was really him, and he said that it was. He told me we were going to hang out for a bit, and after that, the dream got super lucid. He showed me how to make stuff, and generally we just messed around doing weird dream things. Suddenly, I realized that my dream was coming to an end, and I turned to him and asked if I was about to wake up, and he said yes, but said that he'd had fun coming to hang out with me for a bit. I don't know why, but I asked, "So why'd you do it, man? Why'd you take your own life?" And the way he answered chilled me to the core. Not necessarily what he said, but just how he said it. He replied, "My girlfriend cheated on me, man." He said it like it was a question he'd answered before. Like when someone asks you what your first job was, and you've responded with the exact same sentence so many times, and that it just falls out of your tongue effortlessly. Except I'd known his girlfriend, and they were the kind of couple that everyone admired. And I said, Sophie cheated on you?" And he said his eyes lit up, like he realized he was talking to someone that actually knew him in real life. He said, "Yeah, man, Sophie cheated on me." We gave each other a hug, and he wished me well. I woke up and felt super strange. It was somewhere around 2 or 3 in the morning. I closed my eyes and thought, "Phil, if that was you, I need you to give me a sign." It was at that moment that things got even eerier. Right after I finished that thought, my phone started ringing. It came across as an unknown number and only rang twice. I knew I wasn't dreaming anymore because my ex-wife woke up and sleepily asked me who was trying to call me so late. To this day, whenever I think about that story, I get chills. Hope you're okay, Phil, wherever you are. That was by Shumi0221. Wow. Again, I think that that's probably the most common way that people, loved ones or significant people, come to see us.
Right.
It's in the dreams. That's where we're probably the most receptive.
Right.
We don't have all the barriers and distractions and emotions of our daily life going on. We're just in this state of reception, I think. Sure. So I think that's very powerful. And as I've shared with you before, I mean, obviously, I've had similar kind of dreams, and they're very powerful.
Well, maybe next time you should try bending spoons.
There is no spoon, Don.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. That's the secret. Didn't you see?
There is no spoon.
Yep. Number 7, a bad trip. We're going to read this one. What time is it now?
It's only
8:18.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing good. But we got a lot of cryptid stories to get to. So we'll get to a few of them. Number 7, a bad trip. Back in early July, my family was going on a road trip to Montana to visit our grandparents. Prior to the trip, I had a horrible, horrible feeling about going. I kept having flashes of car accidents in my head, and I was sure that we were going to get in one if we left. It was so strange because I have pretty severe anxiety disorder, but this didn't feel like my anxiety at all. I actually never have anxiety about road trips. I love them. Anyway, we left Saturday of that week, and I told my parents I had a bad feeling about driving up there, but they dismissed me as being anxious. I'd honestly never felt so certain about something in my life. Getting into that car felt like signing my death sentence. So we get about 6 hours in, and at this point, I start to think I was being ridiculous. And a wave of calmness just washes over me.
Ooh.
This is where stuff gets strange.
Why is that sentence always in these stories?
It's almost built for narration.
Right.
It's almost like a Nuke's Top 5 video.
Right.
This is where things get strange. My dad passes an underpass and everything just shifts. I feel like I saw everything in slow motion for a whole 4 or 5 minutes.
Wow.
My parents were joking beforehand, but their faces moved so slowly, and then the light in the car started to shift. This was the scary part because I thought I must have been going insane. For a few seconds, there was a huge illumination of light into our car. And then I looked at my family and could not tell who they were or what they meant to me. And then it's like everything just came back. The light shifted back, and I knew who everyone was. Still, it felt like something imperceptible had completely changed. I closed my eyes and tried to make sense of the past few minutes. When I reached back to remember, I saw blood. Our car and another minivan in total shambles on the side of the highway right beyond the underpass. And mangled bodies, and that wasn't all.
Oh boy.
I remembered sensations I should not have known, what spattered brain matter looks like, the smell of something burning, the way I couldn't breathe. None of it had ever happened, yet I remember that the car in front of us had switched lanes even though there was a truck in front of us. I realized it at the last second and hit us with a lateral impact. I have no history of psychosis, and I've never been in any sort of car accident. This wasn't PTSD, and I've never had anxiety over being in a car in any sort of way prior to this. And maybe I could have just brushed it off, but I still think about it when I'm driving in my own car. It's made me a more cautious driver. I don't know what happened. It was just a weird situation. I remember having the distinct feeling at that moment that I had died in some sense, and I'm not a spiritually sensitive person by any means. I am a scientist at heart, but this was truly something I can't explain. That was by Nestle 13. Yeah, I think it's possible. Again, do I know this is a true story? No. But if it is a true story, as it's alleged to be, then is this the transitionary moment where maybe they jumped dimensions because things did go sideways in the one they were in? Is this then, a reason for some people having Mandela effects? Because things are just a little bit different in each one, maybe. And I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing ideas at it, but what if?
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, is it was like a dimensional shift. So, whether that be, what happens? I mean, a splitting of the timeline is more specifically what it is.
Yeah.
A splitting of the timeline, because your choices, affect, if you go left or right on the timeline, or even just straight forward. So it's like when, like maybe the dad did something like change lanes just before he went under the underpass, and the changing lanes put him in a different dimension or shifted the timeline.
Sure.
And yeah, there was the flash of the bodies and the accident on the side of the road to this person, but because of that one little thing about changing lanes, or even being in the process of changing lanes, or maybe he crossed the center line, just that one little thing activated a new timeline.
Sure. Oh, and maybe the reason he or she had all of the impressions of going through it was so close from that divergence.
Right.
It was so close to where those timelines split apart.
Right.
Or that dimensional shift happened, but it was so close to the other dimensional events that it was still able to project to this person.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just completely guessing here, but I think it's very powerful. Wow. Yikes.
I wouldn't call it a Mandela effect. Chucky Danger says that seems to make the most sense for a Mandela effect. I don't think it's a Mandela effect. I think Mandela effect is a lot different in the sense that it's something that we already knew that in the past that has changed. It's not the changing of future. It's the past that's changed in Mandela effects.
I think maybe he's referring to the shifting to a different dimension.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that
I could buy that.
Yeah, the other dimension has a history that's a little different.
Right.
Little details. Yeah, I think that's true. Great points. But yeah, I think we're going to hold that article there before, let me just see, we're on number 8. Help me remember that in case my bookmark gets lost or something. Which does happen, oddly enough.
If you didn't have 45 open.
I know, I got a ton of them.
God, he's got.
I'm going to be closing some of them. As I read them, I close them.
He's got so many tabs open, you can only see an icon.
I got
That's
so
it.
many tabs going, I should start my own bar. See what I did there? Huh?
Start your own bar.
Yeah.
you
Launch
sounds
my
like
own
you-
bar.
You owe yourself money, buddy.
I just saw that movie Maverick, by the way.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I thought it was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect because I was like, oh, great, a sequel, after so many years.
Right. What were they gonna? How are they gonna do it?
But right. But I mean, of course, there's some absolutely fantastic leaps of sequences, but it was still a fun movie. I really enjoyed watching it, and I like how it ended. I thought it was very.
I thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I liked
Yep.
it. I watched a movie called Safe House last night, and it had Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds in it.
Oh.
And I really liked that movie because
Okay.
most of the movie was Ryan Reynolds getting his ass kicked. It was actually a good movie, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds was getting his ass kicked all the way through it.
See if you can say ass one more time, and we can.
Why? You just said it. Why be an ass?
There you go. Thank you for the trifecta, Don. All right, because this is a family show. All right, so anyway, yeah, that was a great dad joke. Somebody did a great dad joke. We missed it.
What?
The unknown said that was a great dad joke, though. I don't know what one. I missed it. Hello, guys,
We
says
talk
Diane. How
so
you doing?
much, we have no clue.
I know we
don't even know if he's referring to us.
I'll tell you what, this whole show, I mean, everything about this show is absolutely really largely unprepared. I just pull up a bunch of stuff and we just go live and see what happens.
Does
I mean,
this butt make my pants look big?
does the butt make your pants look big? Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
Jess says it's the loose cannon show.
Yeah,
It's the loose something, that's for sure.
I don't want to know what else is loose now.
Well, you keep pulling down my bottom third.
I'm not pulling it down. I just close it. When you're not here, it doesn't pay to have Sheldon saying Don Longbeard.
The unknown says, you said it, Brent. I have so many tabs open. I have my own bar. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm here all night. Yeah, unfortunately. I don't have a lot of planning involved in any of these shows. But what happened?
Nothing. I just remembered something that happened at work the other day.
Oh.
So I go into the cash room to get in the vault real quick, and we go back. So a couple days later, we go back and we watch a video. We're watching the video to see if something happens, and I look up and it's a video of me walking into the cash office. I said, "Wow, the camera really does add 20 pounds." The boss goes, "No, it doesn't." I was like, I just gave him the bird.
Just gave him some punctuation, did you?
Thanks, buddy.
Exclamation point. All right. Well, we're going to get to some cryptid corner here while we got some time left.
Yeah, please.
And I hope you guys are ready for some cryptids because we got some great new additions from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. I got one from the Confessionals. May not get to it tonight. Might hit that one on Friday. We'll see how long these take. I haven't looked at the length of any of them. I just look for the listener emails that Wes receives because I find those absolutely fascinating. Wow. I love hearing people's experiences.
Yeah.
And, I really think that is our window into the phenomena more than anything. Yeah. More than, other than my own experiences, hearing your guys' experiences is just my second favorite. And I mean that because of the things I experience. Of course, I know they're happening,
right?
Because they happen. But hearing your guys' experiences or other people's experiences has really taught me a lot about the phenomena through the years, the different varied phenomena that we cover.
And part of that though is that he picks the really good stories to make into podcasts.
Yeah.
But if you don't know about his blog, then you're not catching these other ones that may have something that's pertinent to you.
Right, exactly. There's so much more information over there and entertainment on SasquatchChronicles.com. So visit the blog over there and check it out because you could be reading for days and days and days.
Right.
There's just so much archived on there.
Tearing Down Idols. The email address is paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. write in and write it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. I'm actually in the process of putting together a listener emails show from emails that I've received.
Right.
It'll probably be our next episode.
Get on it, brother. Get on it, brother.
That's okay. I got a long beard in the wings.
Yeah, well, I only have until Sunday night. So.
Oh, it's fine. You got this down to a science.
Oh, jeez.
You've done hundreds of episodes, Don.
He's blinding me with science.
I'm blinding you with phenomena. All right, here we go. From Sasquatch Chronicle. But Sorry. Phenomena.
You gotta stop. Every time that happens, you have to stop and do it.
I know. It's just. I keep thinking of those Muppets.
It's just. It's a Gen X thought. We can't help it.
Yeah. If it's
like hearing.
You'd swear we were drunk, wouldn't you?
We're not.
No, I'm just with love and joy.
Yeah. Well, punch drunk too.
Yeah. Well,
I've had a long day.
Yeah, you have.
But it's like Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. You know, you hear that flute at the beginning, you're like, burr? You know that song when you hear it.
You do. All right.
Phenomena.
All right, let's get to the blog, SasquatchChronicles.com blog, and this is a listener email, and it's from May 6th. And let me get it up on screen here. What am I doing? There it is, Sasquatch Chronicles blog. And May 6th, it sounded like it said, "Hey, a listener writes, I've been on the fence about sharing my encounter, only because I'm not entirely sure if it was a Bigfoot or not. I never actually saw a creature or anything for that matter, but it was a terrifying experience nevertheless. I originally found your show in the aftermath of my experience when I was looking up strange animal sounds on YouTube and came across one of your podcasts.
That's a strange sound for sure.
And I've been hooked ever since. My experience happened on a backpacking trip with my buddy in late April, early May, or so about this time, in 2016, in the Mark Twain National Forest in a place called Berryman Campground. We weren't in the campground itself. We were hiking through the loop trail that's about 30 miles long. We had been to this exact trail before and even stayed at our same campsites that we had set up in the past. We usually would complete the trail in 3 days, and this time I wasn't able to get enough time off of work and was only able to stay one night. The campsite we were at is 12 miles in. If you take the trail counterclockwise, we had hiked in that day and just enjoyed being in the woods without any strange occurrences throughout the afternoon and night. I wake up in the early next morning, planning to hit the trail early and get back to my car. I had packed up and started hiking out at around 4:30 a.m. I got close to the halfway point at around 5 to 6 miles and decided to stop for breakfast, and it was around 7 a.m. at this point. And I'd planned on cooking one of those dehydrated meals, but decided to just eat some granola bars and make coffee or tea instead, just to save time. Well, after I'd finished my breakfast, I picked out a tree to relieve myself at, and my encounter started. As I was doing my business, I got a sudden and intense feeling that I was in trouble or danger, as if someone had just flipped a switch in my psyche. My heart rate and breathing increased dramatically, and I began scanning the area around me, and at this point, I hadn't yet heard, seen, or smelled anything. Nothing at all gave me any indication that I should be scared, but I was definitely terrified. I quickly zipped up my pants, grabbed my backpack, and got on the trail. The overall feeling of dread continued for maybe a mile at most. During that period, off to my right, deeper into the center of the woods, it seemed like I would hear periodic whispering. It was quiet enough that I wasn't sure if I had actually heard it. I stopped 2 or 3 times trying to listen, but with the feeling still lingering and the intensifying when I would stop, I just kept hiking. Not only did I feel scared, but I was somewhat disoriented and felt almost drunk. I don't know if it was from the adrenaline or something else was affecting me. After that mile or so, the trail comes to a portion where it has a couple S-shaped curves. If you were to lay your hand flat out on a desk and trace around your pointer, middle, and ring finger, it's kind of like that. The fingers were hills tall enough that you can't see to the next turn at any time, probably 15 or 20 feet. The spaces in between your fingers were deep gullies about the same height. I hadn't heard any of the strange whispers for probably a third mile or so, and I even started feeling a little better, and the sense of dread was starting to diminish. As I came up around what in essence was the middle finger, based on my description, was the first time I without a doubt heard something. It was plain as day, and it sounded like it was around the next turn or ring finger section. It's hard to explain, and I can crudely imitate the sound, but it doesn't do it justice.
Please don't.
Huh?
Please don't.
Please don't.
Imitate the sound.
But what I heard was absolutely spoken words. It sounded like it said a shawa, is how I'd spell it. But if it was sounded out, would maybe be more like ooh shawa. The voice was unbelievably deep and sounded like nothing I've heard before or since.
He was asking to take a shower.
What do you need? A shawa.
Shower.
After that, it made some more monkey-like whoops. It sounded like it said heywa, and there was a short delay, and there was what I considered a response to it. It sounded like a different entity altogether, just because of the vastly different sound of the voice. The best thing I've been able to compare it to is a chimpanzee tried to imitate the old school dial-up tone. Once I heard all this, I stopped dead in my tracks. Since this sounded like actual speech, vowels, and consonants, although nothing about it was recognizable, my brain convinced me that these were just people up ahead. And this was during some portion of turkey hunting season, so again, my brain tried to make me believe these were hunters or something. It doesn't make sense in hindsight, but it was the only thing I could think of. Hunting there is obviously illegal, but there's a lot of folks around there that poach and so on. I shouted out, "Hey, you guys up there," to which I heard a startled grunt or huff. I'm not really certain. I was about to say, I don't have my hunter orange, although it's only mandatory in the rifle portion of deer season in my state. Anyway, I didn't get out any more than the word "I" when this thing let out the most ungodly scream I've ever heard. I'd equate it to a roaring, hollering belch. I know that's probably a weird description, but I add belch in there because there was this unbelievable release of air from its lungs. What I'm assuming was a bigger male animal screamed for probably 10 seconds straight. About halfway through that, the other one joined in. The second one was more of a high-pitched woman-like scream. I didn't really feel the scream in my chest like some people say, but I attribute that to these things, whatever they are, being behind the hill in front of me. I was still just frozen with fear, and then I heard these animals start running. They only took 2 or 4 steps, and I was pretty convinced they were running in my direction. I didn't know what else to do, so I threw my backpack to the ground and climbed this big tree to my left right off the trail. I climbed as high as I could to the point I thought the branches might break under my weight. I felt like I was in the tree for hours. It was probably only 5 to 10 minutes at most. I was still scared, but the feeling of dread was totally gone. And there was a lingering disorientation. It was soon after I started hearing birds again, I suddenly realized that I hadn't heard any wildlife once I'd stopped for breakfast, despite hearing the birds and squirrels digging through the leaves before that. I figured if the wildlife came back, whatever was there must be long gone. So I climbed down, grabbed my pack, and literally ran the entire way back to my car. I've never ran such a continuous distance in my entire life. Where we parked, there's a small turnoff spot from a 2-lane highway with a connector trail. That's part of the Ozark Trail, I believe. Anyway, I got back to that portion and was still running. I either slipped or tripped on something and pretty much face planted into the ground. There's a small little creek that flows along this portion of the connector. I crawled over to try and wash my arms and face off and ended up puking. Could have been just from running like crazy or, again, the effect of that strange feeling I felt. I just sat by the creek for a while and gained my breath back, and after that I just walked back to my car and left. I was in a bit of a stupor for probably the next 24 hours. I really didn't didn't really talk or eat. I was just so engrossed by my experience. It was only once my buddy texted me saying he made it back to his car that I kind of snapped out of it. And I felt terrible because I'd totally forgotten about him in there and didn't try to warn him or anything. I don't know what I really would have said, but I felt like an ass. There you go again, Don. I've since told him about my experience, and we've talked about other things he's experienced in the woods, not during that excursion, but other times. He never experienced anything strange during his days and nights there by himself, thankfully. In conclusion, again, I'm not sure what it was since I never saw anything, but after listening to as many Bigfoot podcasts and encounters as I could find, I think I had a run-in with old Momo, the Missouri Monster. Thanks for all that you do. I love your podcast, and it's given me untold days of entertainment these last 7 years. So there you go. What a incredible experience, but horrifying.
Yeah, Birdie Cuda says he got zapped.
It sounds like it, yeah. Sounds like the old infrasound.
Infrasound, yeah.
I was going to say ultrasound, but no, infrasound. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, that certainly could be a reaction to infrasound. It does stun, but it almost seems like there's something more to these experiences, not just a reaction to a sound, you know?
Right.
I mean, that's what we equate it to, and you could be absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it almost makes me wonder if there isn't a psychic element to these things.
Well, Warren, what's her name? Lauren.
Yeah, Ed and Lorraine.
Lorraine
yeah.
Warren. Yeah, she made a claim that she had a
Conversation telepathically, yeah,
with an injured Bigfoot.
Yep.
So an injured Sasquatch. So, what's to say?
It could very well be. I do believe that animals in general do at the very least they are very incredibly empathic. Like I've shared this story one other time on the show, but I was blown away by this. I was probably about 12 years old at the time, and we had one of those BB guns, those pump ones, and I was a young dumb kid and shoot everything. I mean, I just something was moving, I'd shoot it, and
Right.
and I was a pretty good shot and all, but I decided to take it to this one spot on the hill behind our house, and it was kind of in a gully part of it, and in this spot there were like these tons of chipmunks. And I've got to tell you, I was like, well, I'll just sit quietly there, wait for a chipmunk to come out, and I would shoot it. It was what I was thinking. Now, obviously, I've developed a lot more compassion and empathy through the years. This is I would never kill anything anymore, but this is just a young, dumb kid. But I got the BB gun, and I'm sitting up about 20 feet away from this collection of tunnels that these, tribe of chipmunks had made. And I was sitting there going, yeah. So I kind of just left the gun, lay down, and I'm just sitting there watching. And as I'm just sitting there, these things are coming and going just all over the place and just with absolutely no fear. Nothing going on. I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, okay. So I slowly would reach, grab the BB gun. It was all cocked and ready to go. And as soon as I raised it, not one damn little chipmunk came out. Mm-hmm. Not one. Now, I'm sure they don't recognize what BB guns are, especially in this area where nothing ever hunted them. It was right behind our house and right in a wooded kind of residential area, not very sparsely populated with mostly cabins and stuff, but they had never experienced that before. It's not like they were shot at every weekend. So I sat there with it for about 10, 15 minutes. Not a single one came out. Like, huh. So my arms got tired, so I just laid it down again and just kind of sat there. As soon as I laid it down again, those little chipmunks are all over the place, coming and going, frolicking around and doing their thing. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're back. Raise up the gun again. Every one of them is suddenly gone. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how long I'm holding that gun looking like I'm going to shoot these chipmunks. Not a single one came out of its little tunnel. Not one. And I had the perfect sniper spot. It's not like they eluded me. They just weren't there.
Right.
And every time I lowered the gun, then they started coming out after like about a minute. They'd start coming out and doing their thing. So it's like, it was like they sensed when I was a predator and when I was an observer.
Right.
Like, if that's not like an empathic response, I don't know what is, right?
Definitely.
It's just, it boggles my mind even now as I think back to it. It's like, how could they have known? It's not a logical thing. It's not an intelligent thing. It's just this emotional awareness. Like, they knew what I was intending when I was intending it. When I wasn't posing a threat, they hadn't still decided, oh, human evil. They were just doing their thing. I mean, literally 20, 25 feet away from me, even closer, like coming up by me and rustling through leaves. Right. But as soon as I raised that gun, they were gone.
Yep.
So as soon as I became a predator. And so I think animals are extraordinarily, at the very least, extraordinarily empathic. Like, they can pick up vibes, you know. I mean, for instance, Don,
Mm-hmm.
especially where you live, how many times are you driving home and there's a turkeys crossing the road?
God, yes.
Now there's turkeys crossing the road, and they're like, they're these incredibly, they seem obtuse. Like, they'll just be like, you'll drive right past them. Wild turkeys.
Stand there.
Now, turkeys, for those of you that don't know, they fly like 50 miles an hour. They are incredibly quick, and
they make so much noise.
But they're hard to hunt.
Yes.
They are incredibly hard to hunt. These are the same things that you have to almost not hit with your car.
Right.
But if you're out there with a gun hunting them, you're lucky to see them.
Yep.
And it's just this conundrum. So is there a point to that? Maybe. Maybe they are aware. Maybe the animals pick up on the intent. You know, I'm not saying that they're psychically connected. What is he? He's going to shoot us? Hell no. You know, but they just know when we're a predator and when we're not.
You know, I can tell you, you know, my friend, she's hit more turkeys than I've shot.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She hits turkeys left and frickin' right. So we go and pick them up and harvest their feathers and stuff. But God
neat.
Dang it.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't I just shoot one? Put it in my freezer, you know?
It sounds more cool that way.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Not I beg.
Oh, where'd you get these feathers? Oh, my friend's a motor murderess with turkeys.
I bagged this one at 30 on the freeway.
Right.
You know, it's like going to the grocery store and bagging your limit. You
right.
know? Aggravated Progressive says, he always got a Thanksgiving bird. Yeah, I mean, there's some people that are incredible. I mean, I think you can call them in and confuse them, but I just think, you know, they can be lured in because they're also probably dealing with all that hormones and stuff of the mating seasons. But it's just that idea that there does seem to be a recognition to when something is a predator and when it's not. So I don't know. It's just a theory of mine. I could be absolutely wrong, but I think there's something to it. So anyway, what are we doing for time here? 47. If we got a short one, I could read it. That was the one we just read. Let me look at the next one here. Yeah, we can read this one. So this one next is it's kind of a different take. It's a different kind of cryptid report on Sasquatch Chronicles blog. I did want to read this one tonight. This one comes from May 8th. Snake-like creature. A listener writes, around 2007, myself...
What's standing right between us?
Yeah, there was one between us and one on this side of me.
God.
I didn't even feel a chill. So anyway.
It gave me a chill.
Did it? The sound does.
Yeah.
The sound is creepy as hell.
God.
A listener writes, around 2007, myself and some friends were on a boat in Norris Lake in Tennessee. All adults over 30. And it was around 2 a.m. We're coming back from a concert at one of the marinas, and we all noticed a small glowing light on one of the banks in the distance. It was steady and never moving. We were all like, what the hell is that? So we slowly drove over. And upon arriving, it looked as though the light was in the ground. And we all grew up around the lake since we're out boating often, but had never witnessed anything like this. Myself and one man got out of the boat and walked up to the glowing light coming from the ground. It appeared to be a glowing, transparent reptile, snake-like creature. The color would be similar to a glowing jellyfish, and you could see veins, etc., and it began to slowly slither deeper into the ground and disappear. It was approximately 2 to 2.5 inches thick. Hard to tell about the exact length, but it seemed to be maybe 2 feet long. Everyone else just laughed and chalked it up to drinking. We had been drinking, but I was completely sober by this point. We both were. I've researched for years and have never been able to find any info about what this creature could have been. I thought I would give it a shot and reach out to you in hopes that you may have heard a similar experience. Thanks so much, and I hope to hear back from you.
The unknown, Ninja Dave, says, "Oh my gosh, that's where I researched Bigfoot. Norris Lake area is where my dog man sighting occurred."
Wow, yikes!
Yup.
Well, be careful.
That's a big old nope.
There's apparently glowing snakes there too, dude. So.
Yup.
And who knows if they're venomous? That's the other part.
Right.
It's like, are they constrictors or are they venomous? Somebody did answer and said, when my brother lived near the Twin Cities, Minnesota, his trail camera captured a feeding deer head down. Several yards behind the deer looks to be like a giant anaconda snake, lit up very bright, glowing, or lit up by a camera flash, coming out from behind a tree and looking directly at the deer. The following picture camera took only 30 seconds to a minute later to show the deer with its head up, looking in that direction, but the snake thing is gone. Wow. It's funny you posted this, as I was just thinking about those photos in the last couple of days. It wasn't debris or grass floating by either, and you can see where the body fades more into the darkness, and it's creepy.
Wow.
That is creepy. Wow. That's from Ron S. on the blog response. That's pretty wild. Very, very wild stuff. I don't know, Don. There's all kinds of craziness out there.
There is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just going to look. This one's pretty short, too. I think I can read this one, and this will be about it. This one comes from May 9th. I saw something that was about 6.5 feet tall. A listener writes, we live down in South Alabama, and there's a state park near us that we like to go to. There are walking bike trails that run through the park. About 3 months ago, me, my husband, and my 10-year-old daughter were riding on one of those trails. They had gone ahead of me a short ways, and I was crossing a little wooden bridge and saw something out of the corner of my eye. I'm always on the lookout for wildlife, especially snakes, because I love snakes. Anyway, I stopped and looked and saw something that was probably about 6.5 feet tall or so. It was tan in color and was about 150 yards away. I quietly called my husband and daughter to come back to me, and when they got back to me, I told my husband what I saw. He looked, and it popped its head back up, then went down and came back up again 20 feet from where it was. It was almost like it was hopping, but in a strange way. It's crazy because we both said it looked like a kangaroo, but it didn't at the same time. We couldn't see a face because it was like it was turned where we could only see the side profile. We have no idea what it could have been. We stayed there for a few more minutes, but didn't see it again. There is no animal we have around here that would make sense for what we saw. I was totally creeped out for the rest of the bike ride. When I heard your last episode about the kangaroo, I freaked and went and showed my husband, and that's when we decided to tell you about what we saw a few months ago. Thanks for giving people a place to share their encounters. So we got a couple of different encounter stories tonight, not just the normal Bigfoot stuff, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the idea of kangaroos? There could be some rogue kangaroos that got away or something.
Yeah, exactly. Something that the Lion King or whatever his name is, the tiger guy, Carol, the one that supposedly fettered. So escaped from one of those exotic zoos.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was like the Lion King. What?
What is
the way? Yeah.
Oh boy.
The Tiger King, wasn't it? The Tiger King.
The Tiger King. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, as a goofy guy.
Yeah, the mullet and the.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And all kinds of problems. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Carol, the fed her husband to the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. But yeah. So who's to say that it didn't escape from one of these private exotic zoos that people have?
Yeah.
So, but that would make perfect sense to me.
Well, sure. I mean, what are how many, especially for like a roo, what would be predating it in what was it, Alabama?
Yeah, not much here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not
Bears.
much here. There's maybe the black bear.
Yeah.
And then there's, Sasquatch, Dogman. But
Right.
other than that, maybe a panther. But I don't know. It's crazy. Whatever the case, that looks like it's been our journey, Don. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That was
Absolutely.
emphatic.
It was
Absolutely.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because I got abs of glutes.
I got abs like glutes.
Oh, my.
They're all puffy and soft. No, I'm just...
Did he just reference his ass again?
I did. It's my show. I can reference my own tail, and I'll say the rear. Just keep it as Tiger King. Chucky agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Paranormal Portal. Which states do you gents live in again? I've forgotten. We're up in the north of Idaho.
Yep.
North Tip, Idaho. We're up here by the.
Just the tip.
Jesus, how do you corrupt something so quickly? I mean, you go 0 to gutter in like no time at all.
It just happens.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
It happens.
You are so broken. But Penny Van thought that was funny. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him, Penny.
Paisley's daughter looks at me and goes, "Why are you?" She's 8. Why are you so broke?
See, it's not just me. It's not just me.
I think Don's broke again. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I got to rotate the tires or something, brother.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, that's it for our journey tonight, everybody. We hope you had a good time, and thank you so much for being here. Remember to join the Discord and, of course, hit the marketplace if you want to support not only us by our Teespring site, but other wonderful creators that are positioning their wares for your enjoyment.
There you go. Yeah.
And I'll be back on Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
The great procrastinator.
What?
Nothing. Keep going.
Okay. I don't know who you're talking to.
We want a shrubbery.
All right. Well, we don't have any shrubbery currently. But I'll be back on Saturday night as well. Sheldon should be joining me on Friday night. So I'll look for you then. Remember, check out the podcast if you haven't already. And you can find those on YouTube as well. We got a playlist that's called Podcast Episodes. And it's all of our audio podcasts from season 4, which is the current season.
There you go.
If you like them, head over to all the other platforms and check out seasons 1 through 3.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. All right.
Make sure to get a shot.
There you go. And thank you all.
That's from the tip.
Oh, Jesus, Don. I can't bring you anywhere.
Sorry.
All right. So your new role on the show might be off camera. You can be the button guy.
Here, push this button over here and stop pushing mine.
Don, make the clapping sound. They got a button for that, Don. All right. All right, guys. Well, just remember, anything in closing, Don?
Teespring, support your local paranormal portal, even if we're not local.
Well,
we're all local netizens, so
we're all in the same community.
And like, share, love,
subscribe if you haven't. We'd love for you to subscribe.
Check out the podcast.
All right, Don covered it all. So remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. We'll see you Friday, guys.
Absolutely.
Take care. Love you all. Until then, big wink.
Good night.